that of a bird.
Will always be remembered for Dev Anand is your sense of style. The way you used to have the puff of your hair, or I'm talking about 50s, even 60s as well. The way you used to smoke a cigarette.
I was very raw when I worked. When I started the movies, I was very intelligent. I was very well educated. I had done my honors in English. Right. But then I had no training in acting. I had no academies. But then I'm a very self-trained man. Every time I gave a shot, I came back home and slept. And said, my God, I could have done this, I could have done that. Every role, every script, you need something else. But you know within yourself, you know it. You got to draw it out of your mind.
Fine, sir. The acting is one thing, but your sense of style, where have you, even now when I'm seeing that you're having this fantastic jacket.
It's me, it's me. I came to Bombay all by myself. I starved. I lived in chawls. I shared a room with 3-4 people. I shared a bathroom with 20-25 people. Got a break and never looked back. Have you ever seen me talking about huge cars? Have you ever seen me going with my bodyguards? I have no bodyguards. Have you ever seen me flaunting huge wealth? Not that I haven't got it. It's not meant to be flaunted in a world where the majority of people are poor.
You have openly spoken about in your autobiography your relationship with Shahryar. Her grandmother, I believe, was opposed to the relationship, and
I would have married her otherwise.
Right, and I think you're taking a ring as well.
I loved her. I gave her a ring, and then I could never hear from her because I think there must have been an opposition in the house. But again, मैं जिंदगी के साथ निभाता चला गया और हर फिक्र को धुएं से उड़ाता चला गया. I forget my sorrows. I forget my temporary defeats in a jiffy like that. And the next day is a new day. Read my book. The morning sun rises and throws its first morning light on your face.
Fantastic. But is it true that you had thrown that ring in sea, marine lights?
I was told, and people verified it, but I never asked because I was stupid to ask.
Right.
Let the myth remain. Let the story remain. Maybe she's done it. I never asked her. I met her later in different parties. She was always bejeweled and dressed up, and she was very nice. But then I was on a different high. I was on a different road.
And she never married?
No, I don't. She never married, and I don't know why she didn't get married. I was meant to be that way. If I had got married, my course of life would have been different. Because the wife contributes to your growth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I believe you had saved her during while shooting of one of your films. There was some accident and you had saved her from drowning, I believe.
I think I saved her from drowning in a movie. Okay. And well, that was not the moment when we fell in love. I think the very first day I worked with her, I could feel that she wanted to talk to me, and I wanted to talk to her. It started developing. And she developed a liking for me, and I think I was a hell of a guy. Everybody is, not only Dev Anand. Every young man, when he's out of college and he's exposing himself to the world and he wants to achieve something big, he's that way. I was special, and I was singled out, and I got my break, and I'm still that.
Hum Dono came, and after that, one of the films that you'll always be remembered for in a big way is Guide, in terms of one of the finest films to have come out of Indian cinema.
It was.
A very different script, R.K. Narayan's...
R.K. Narayan's novel, the English Guide was. Right. The Hindi Guide was totally different, from a different script, from a different mind, which we thought was the mind of the Indian audience, which also does not accept openly a thing called adultery. Right. And this is where my younger brother, after having worked on Hum Dono, we worked hard on the script, on the Hindi script of the Guide, and released. Then people caught it, and they They started liking it, and they started liking it more and more and more and more till it becomes a cult figure. And I was at the Cannes Film Festival in 2008, and they saw the Hindi version of the guide subtitled in French, and the majority of audience was European. And I think, my God, fantastic. And I thought I enjoyed the premiere more than I enjoyed it in 1965 in New Delhi.
The way the film was, and it takes you to a spiritual level. It really elevates you to a spiritual level.
Then that's where we justified the angle. And that spiritual level stayed in the minds of people, and that became very difficult for the world to understand first. But once it was understood, it's being understood, then people sit up and say, my God, fantastic. It grows in their minds, and they start thinking about it. That's what Guide is all about.
Na sukh hai, na dukh hai, na deen hai, na duniya, na insaan, na bhagwan. Sirf main, sirf main.